Next on BGSU Brain Game, it's semifinal time. It's Anthony Wayne versus St. Francis. You better get ready for some combat of the cranial karatkas. Only one team can leave victorious. Who's it going to be? Only one way to find out. BGSU's Brain Game starts right now. And welcome to BGSU Brain Game semifinal time. Anthony Wayne versus St. Francis. Let's meet our teams. Starting off with St. Francis, tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Justin Dries, sophomore. To my right is Frank Schuster, senior. And to my left is Bryson Richards, senior. And we are coached by Mrs. Haley Sharp.
All right, welcome to St. Francis. Anthony Wayne, tell us who you are.
We got the senior squad up here. I'm Joe Roush. To the left of me is Dylan Mundo. Right of me is Harrison Schilling. We're coached by Hare Jones.
All right, welcome to both of our teams. Going to start off with our toss-up round. All questions in this round are 10 points apiece. No deduction for an incorrect answer, so you can play a little bit looser on your buzzers, have some fun. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can, I repeat, you can steal a question in this round. Anthony Wayne, St. Francis, here we go. Milk can be kept fresh in the refrigerator from 7 to 10 days. In order to maintain freshness for extended periods of time, that would be St. Francis. Justin?
Pasteurization.
Pasteurization is indeed what we were looking for. St. Francis on the board first. Adjectives such as a, an, and the are, that would be St. Francis. Justin?
Articles.
They are indeed articles. What is the capital of Lebanon? That would be St. Francis. Justin?
Beirut.
Beirut is correct. What do people with progeria do faster than other folks? That would be St. Francis. Justin?
Age.
They do indeed age faster. When cancer cells from a tumor reach other areas of the body, that would be St. Francis. Justin?
Metastasis.
Metastasize, yes. For which U.S. state did President Ronald Reagan serve as governor? That would be St. Francis. Justin?
California.
California is correct. Cochise was the leader of what Native American tribe? That would be St. Francis. Frank?
Seminole.
Incorrect. Anthony Wayne, opportunity to steal. That would be Joe.
Choctaw.
Incorrect. Actually, Apache is what we needed there. Apache. Give the name of the protist described. Most of these require a warm temperature and moisture for growth. They are single one-celled microbes that have no, that would be Anthony Wayne. Dylan?
Bacteria.
Bacteria is correct. Anthony Wayne on the board. What term do we apply to the y-coordinate of a point? That would be Anthony Wayne. Joe?
Height.
Incorrect. St. Francis, opportunity to steal. That would be time. He got in time, Frank?
Length.
Incorrect. Ordinate is what we needed there. These mythical women's songs proved so irresistible, that would be St. Francis. Justin?
Sirens.
They are indeed sirens. They would steer their ships into rocks and perish. That is all 10 questions in that round. Let's take a look at our score. Anthony Wayne at 10 points. Currently in the lead with 70 points is St. Francis. But you're going to want to stick around because our risk and reward round is coming up next. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. Anthony Wayne 10, St. Francis 70 points. Anthony Wayne, looks like you have a new player in your lineup. Who has joined your team?
We now have Arjun. He is a freshman.
All right, welcome to you. St. Francis staying with their lineup from the last round. Welcome back to all of our players. All right, this is the risk and reward round. Both teams, you are going to receive the same 9 questions. They are 10 points apiece. No deduction for an incorrect answer. The 10th question is the risk and reward question. You can risk up to 30 points. That's right, 30 points in 5-point increments on a topic that we give you. Get it right, you get those bonus points. You get it wrong, sorry, negative points. A non-answer is also considered an incorrect answer. Negative points for that as well. However, if you don't like the topic, You can just simply pass and get out of the round with those 9 questions. Anthony Wayne, you're at 10 points. St. Francis, you're at 70, meaning St. Francis, you are sticking around. Anthony Wayne, right this way. Off to isolation you go. All right, St. Francis, you ready for the risk and reward round? All right, here we go. Name the consumer advocate for the American people, Green Party candidate in 1996, and author of Unsafe at Any Speed. Is it A, Jill Stein, B, Ralph Nader, or C, Rachel Carson? That would be Justin.
B.
B, Ralph Nader is correct. Complete the following analogy related to animal groups. Plague is to locusts as blank is to oysters. That would be Justin.
A blight.
Incorrect. Bed is to oysters, actually. If the radius of a circle is quadrupled, by what factor will the area of the circle be multiplied? Is it A, 16, B, 12, or C, 8? That would be St. Francis. Justin.
A.
A, 16 is correct. Name the American author of the Hunger Games trilogy. That would be Justin.
Johnson.
Incorrect. Susan Collins is what we were looking for there. Jenny was making shelves for her bedroom. She had one piece of wood that was 6 feet long. How many 18-inch shelves can she make? That would be Justin.
4.
4 is correct. In the northern hemisphere, in what direction do tornadoes normally spin? That would be Justin.
Clockwise.
Sorry, counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. In what state is the fictional Yoknapatawpha County supposed to be located? That would be Justin.
Mississippi.
Mississippi is correct. That's a fun one to say right there. Name the allotrope of oxygen known as O3. That would be Justin.
Ozone.
Correct. On what date was the atomic bomb detonated over Nagasaki? That would be Justin.
August 6th, 1945.
August 9th, 1945. Risk and reward time. The topic is Martin Luther King Jr. You can risk up to 30 points in 5-point increments, or you can pass.
We'd like to risk 30.
30 points it is. In what city did Martin Luther King Jr. deliver his I Have a Dream speech? That would be Justin.
Washington, D.C.
Correct. Additional 30 points to you, and that is the end of the risk and reward round for you. It is now time for you. Head that direction, and off to isolation you go. All right, let's bring back in Anthony Wayne. And welcome back, Anthony Wayne. I hope isolation was everything you hoped it would be and more.
Oh yeah, it was. We got some impressive play calling ready.
There we go. All right. Well, let's get started. You ready for the risk and reward round?
Yes.
Starts right now then. Name the consumer advocate for the American people, Green Party candidate in 1996, and author of Unsafe at Any Speed. Is it A, Jill Stein, B, Ralph Nader, or C, Rachel Carson? That would be Dylan.
A.
Incorrect. B, Ralph Nader is what we needed there. Complete the following analogy related to animal groups. Plague is to locusts as blank is to oysters. That would be Joe.
A school.
Nope. It's a bed is to oysters, actually. If the radius of a circle is quadrupled, by what factor will the area of the circle be multiplied? Is it A, 16, B, 12, or C, 8? That would be Joe.
16.
16 is correct. A. Name the American author of the Hunger Games trilogy. That would be Arjun.
Jennifer Lee Baines.
Incorrect. Suzanne Collins, excuse me. Jenny was making shelves for her bedroom. She had one piece of wood that was 6 feet long. How many 18-inch shelves can she make?
4.
That would be Joe.
4.
4 is correct. In the northern hemisphere, in what direction do tornadoes normally spin?
Honestly, it's counterclockwise.
I think it's
Counterclockwise.
In time? Not in time. It is counterclockwise. In what state is the fictional Yoknapatawpha County supposed to be located? That would be Joe.
Wyoming.
Incorrect. Mississippi is what we needed there. Name the allotrope of oxygen known as O3. That would be Dylan.
Ozone.
Ozone is correct. On what date was the atomic bomb detonated over Nagasaki?
Is this September something?
August 6th.
That would be Joe.
August 6th.
Incorrect. August 9th, 1945. Risk and reward time. The topic is Martin Luther King Jr. You can risk up to 30 points in 5-point increments on this topic, or
Just
you
do
can
it.
pass.
Just do it.
need the points.
At that point, why not go the whole load?
We can't. We can only go. We can't get that much.
Okay, 20.
20 points? 20 points? All right,
Yeah.
20 points it is. Martin Luther King Jr. In what city did Martin Luther King Jr. deliver the I Have a Dream speech? That would be Joe.
DC.
DC is correct. Anthony Wayne, that is the end of the risk and reward round for you. Let's clear our scores and let's bring back in St. Francis. Welcome back from isolation, St. Francis. Let's see where we stand. St. Francis has how many points? 150 points. Anthony Wayne stands at 60 points. Still a very close competition indeed. As a matter of fact, our next round, the category round, things can change very, very quickly because we have questions worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points. But bum, bum, bum. That's right, deductions are going to start. Stick around, category round coming up next. Stay tuned. Some cranial combat indeed. Welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. Anthony Wayne, 60 points. St. Francis, 150 points. Anthony Wayne, you have a returning player who has rejoined the team.
Schilling has returned.
Welcome back. And St. Francis, staying with your lineup from the last round. All right, this is the category round now. There are 6 categories to choose from. Inside each category are questions worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points. But I warn you, oh yes, I warn you, deductions start now. If you go for 25, you are risking 25 points. Now, you may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. And hidden in there somewhere is a double or nothing question, which may or may not be a game changer. Only time will tell. Anthony Wayne, since you are at 60 points, you get to make the first selection.
Yeah, let's go for the U.S.-Canadian border for 30.
U.S.-Canadian border for 30 points. Identify each U.S. state, Canadian province, or body of water as described. U.S. state that shares the shortest border with Canada. That would be St. Francis. Justin.
New Hampshire.
Incorrect. Anthony Wayne, would you like to steal? That would be Joe.
Vermont.
Incorrect. Believe it or not, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, yep. Anthony Wayne in control.
U.S.-Canadian border 25.
U.S.-Canadian border, 25 points. Name of the bridge that links Niagara Falls, Ontario, and Niagara Falls, New York. Time, the Rainbow Bridge. The Rainbow Bridge. Anthony Wayne in control.
Ends in I for 30.
Ends in IVE for 30 points. Based on the given definition and part of speech, identify each word that ends in the letters IVE. I will also provide the first letter of each correct response. It's an adjective. In statistics, data that is countable. The letter is That would be St. Francis. Frank.
Quantitative.
Yeah, quantitative is correct, yes. St. Francis in control.
Solve me for 30.
Solve me for 30 points. Give the product of 9 times 57. In time? In time indeed. St. Francis. Justin.
513.
513 is correct. St. Francis in control.
Solve me 25.
Solve me for 25. What is the least common multiple of 12 and 9? Anthony, Wayne, Dylan.
1.
Incorrect. St. Francis would like to steal. That would be Frank.
36.
36 is the number we needed there. Yes. Let's see. St. Francis in control.
Solve me for 20.
Solve me for 20 points. Convert 7 cups to quarts. That would be St. Francis. Justin.
3.5.
Incorrect. Anthony Wayne would like to steal. That would be Dylan.
7/8.
In 7/8, will we accept that? We cannot accept that. 1.75 quarts was the number we needed. All right, St. Francis in control.
Solve me for 15.
Solve me now for 15 points. This is the double or nothing question. No risks here. How many tablespoons make up 1 cup? That would be St. Francis. Justin.
16.
16 is correct. Gets those bonus points. St. Francis in control, going on a tear.
Solve me for 10.
Solve me now for 10 points. Round 38.6 to the nearest 10 and square it. Give your result. That would be St. Francis. Justin.
1,600.
Correct. St. Francis in control.
U.S.-Canadian border for 10.
U.S.-Canadian border for 10. State known as the Peace Garden state that shares its border. That would be St. Francis. Bryson.
North Dakota.
North Dakota is correct. St. Francis in control.
U.S.-Canadian border for 15.
U.S.-Canadian border for 15 points. Canadian province that borders Washington State. St. Francis. Frank.
British Columbia.
British Columbia is correct. St. Francis in control.
Astronomy for 10.
Astronomy now for 10 points. I will read the definition of a term or describe a person related to the field of astronomy and provide the first letter of the correct response. You identify the term or last name of the person. The letter is L. The intrinsic brightness of a star compared, that would be Anthony Wayne. Joe.
Light.
Incorrect. Brightness of the sun. St. Francis, would you like to steal? That'd be Frank.
Lumosity.
Lumosity is what we needed there. Yes.
Astronomy 15.
Astronomy now for 15 points. The letter is Z. Imaginary band on celestial sphere with the elliptic as its middle line, divided into 12 zones. That would be the zodiac. St. Francis in control.
Science for 10.
Science for 10 points. WXYZ. I will read a definition of a science term that begins with the letters W, X, Y, or Z, or description of a person whose last name begins with W, X, Y, or Z. You identify the term or the person. Shiny, bluish white metallic element used for coating iron and steel. The letter is Z. That would be Anthony Wayne. Joe.
Zinc.
Zinc is correct. Anthony Wayne takes back control.
Science 30.
Science for 30 points. Tissue in vascular plants that carries water, and that would be St. Francis. Frank.
Xylem.
Xylem is what we needed there. Yes, St. Francis takes back control.
Science 15.
Science for 15 points. Unit used to measure power, equal, that would be St. Francis. Frank.
Watt.
Watt is what we needed there. Yes, St. Francis in control.
Science 20.
Science for 20 points. An entire region of land drained by a river system. End of round. Take a look at our score. Currently in the lead with 305 points is St. Francis. Stick around. Final round, brainstorm round coming up next. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. St. Francis currently in the lead with 305 points. Substitutions for both teams going into this final round. St. Francis, who's come back?
Jordan Easton, the freshman, is back to my right.
All right, welcome. And Anthony Wayne, who's back on your team?
And on my right, our June, the freshman, also back.
All right, welcome to our freshmen. This is the brainstorm round. This is all the marbles, everybody. The questions in this round are 20 points apiece, negative 20 points for an incorrect answer. You may confer before buzzing in, but no stealing. I repeat, no stealing in this round. Anthony Wayne, St. Francis, you ready to brainstorm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Here we go. Identify the two-word Latin phrase used to designate a committee or elected body that is formed with that would be St. Francis. Justin.
Ad hoc.
Ad hoc is what we needed there. Which small, densely populated European nation has 1/3 of its land area below sea level? That would be Anthony Wayne. Joe.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands is correct. In the graphic novel Watchmen by Alan Moore, which gigantic blue entity is that would be Anthony Wayne. Dillon.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan is correct. Clay is one of the 3 basic soil types. Identify the other. That would be St. Francis. Justin.
Loam and sand.
Correct. Those are indeed the other 2. Opened in November of 1994, which 31-mile-long man-made structure connects England to France? That would be St. Francis. Justin.
The Channel.
The Channel, or the Channel Tunnel. Which 10-letter noun designates the various occupations that require the shaping and fabrication of metal into various tools? That would be Anthony Wayne. Dillon.
Metallurgy.
Metallurgy is indeed what we're looking for. What is the name of the famous religious site whose rear wall features a painting of the Last Judgment? That would be St. Francis. Justin.
The Sistine Chapel.
Sistine Chapel is correct. In a nuclear particle, what is the meaning of the acronym AMU? That would be St. Francis. Justin.
Atomic Mass Unit.
Correct. What is the capital of Honduras? That would be Anthony Wayne. Joe.
San Jose.
Incorrect. Tegucigalpa is what we needed there. Name the author of the Red Badge of Courage. That would be St. Francis. Justin.
Stephen Crane.
Stephen Crane is correct. Who was the president of the United States when the atomic bomb was dropped? That was Anthony Wayne. Joe.
Truman.
Truman is correct. In what Olympic sport do contestants race a device with no brakes and no, that would be St. Francis. Justin.
Bobsled.
Incorrect. It's the luge. The luge. Express the verb hold in its past participle. That would be Anthony Wayne. Joe.
Held.
Held is correct.
Just like we're holding on.
That's the only way to do it. A crack in the crust of the earth which has no movement. Did I get in time? End of round. Let's take a look at our score. Way to go down swinging. Anthony Wayne with 65 points. St. Francis, our winner, with 405. Let's give both these teams a big round of applause. In the spirit of good sportsmanship, let's come out, meet in the middle, shake hands, bump fists. We'll see you at the next BGSU Brain Game. Come on out, get some TV time, everybody.